Alright, here we are, episode 9 of the Daily Gear Games devlog. Today, we're going to have a much simpler episode to start, just because today's been a very busy day. A lot of waiting, hurrying up and waiting. So let me just do a few checks here to make sure everything's set up properly. Test and see. Okay, audio's coming out of the right place. Okay. So, I'm just going to do a few updates about the game that I didn't get to show off yesterday because they were buggy. One of them was the explosions. And then once I've finished showing that off, I'd like to do a bit of a live development, so basically doing game dev, which will be good. It'll be fun to do a little bit of that today. Before I begin, make sure to follow us on Twitch and subscribe to us on YouTube. That way you can rewatch our content and check out our live streams. So let's get started. We're going to show off the first cool thing that I've been working on, which is the chain explosions. So those chain explosions, let's do build. Those chain explosions are pretty sweet, I'd have to say. You could kill a lot of bad guys with them. And I'm going to show what that looks like live as soon as the game loads. Should be about now. Here we are. Alright, let's restart and go here. I'll let the swarm come in. Boom. Isn't it nice just clearing up a whole room full of bad guys? In case that was too quick for anyone, we can do it again. Boom. I just had a game design idea of having these sometimes fall out of something. So for example, up here we have windows, and here you got nothing, here nothing. Could have it where a canister will roll out of here, or maybe there's a closet that opens and there's a bunch of them that roll out, and then you can use that to like defeat a boss or kill a whole room of enemies. That could be fun. Notice I'm so slow. So I made the ammo on this gun infinite so I could test it out. And I've noticed some weird interactions where the bullets will bounce off some of the guys who may have already had a target or something. So I could debug it live, I guess, but I guess I should try to do that. So the canister's rolling out. I could have them roll out without any graphics. For the other thing I wanted to work on was which is a double damage power up. I don't really need to make a graphic for that. You just gotta make it happen. Alright. Boom. Let's get started with making a new power-up. Double damage power-up. Purely double damage. To start, I have a modified the way in which speed works in the game to use this getter. What it does is it'll check to see if you have a player upgrades controller. In the player upgrades controller, I've configured a few things like getting your move direction, which I don't remember why I needed this. Oh no, that's the wrong thing. Okay, in here there's a method called getMoveSpeed. So this is the game's calculation for your move speed. You have your base, and then you add your shop upgrades, and then you add your item buffs. So the shop upgrades will persist between episodes. They'll persist between lives, so if you die, you'll still have these upgrades, but they won't persist between playthroughs. Just won't. I don't think it's a good idea. So here I have all the move speed stuff, all the controllers and all the things to add or remove your temporary move speed. So now I'm going to make something called add double damage buff. And you only get one of these at a time. Okay. So I think what I could do is have every single weapon in the game call the damage done component to figure out how much damage it should do, but then it calls the player upgrades to figure out what sort of buff the upgrade has. I'm going to start out by doing a double damage buff. Immediately regret my thought. So double damage, it scales pretty quick. It's a power-up. It's not like an incremental buff. So I could have three sort of buffs. I could have 3 power-ups to max damage. I could have upgrades bought at the shop. I could do double damage power-up. So I have to think, like, how far is this going to go? Maybe it's just fun to do all these things. I'm going to start with double damage. So I think what I would want to pass into the get damage would be your input. What's the input damage amount? And then I would return that times 2 if you have the double damage buff. So it's either times 1. So I would do B double damage. If you have it, then it's times 2, else it's 1. This is really nasty looking code, but if you don't know what the ternary operator is, I want this to be false to start with. Okay, so what this is going to do is it's basically, if you have double damage, we're multiplying your base damage by, or your damage by 2. Right? So now I want to build up what is your damage. So you have damage, you just do this base amount. I'm also thinking that you would have something in here like, so base damage, base weapon damage, times shop upgrades. And so we got to pick an amount there. So it's, you know, some amount I'll define in here. And then that could add like, maybe the upgrade amount is add like 0.25 damage to each thing. Well then if the guy has 3 hits, you can kill him in 2. But if he has 2 hits, you still have to hit him twice. Okay, that's fine. You know? If it was like 0.5 or something. So then you have another variable here called your damage. Damage buff count. Damage upgrade count, actually. So each upgrade, we're going to make it give you a quarter of a full. And maybe you can get 8 of these or something like that. So now we have the upgrade count times the upgrade damage upgrade amount. Then we have the power-ups. So we sum everything, then we'll do the doubling. So then the power-ups, we can do like we did before. So this is damage buff. There we go. So now I can really expand how much damage you do and get the game to be a little ridiculous. Get a lot of damage for your money here. Okay, so there's the double damage buff. We're going to want to set double damage to true, and then we're going to want to remove it and set it to false. We're also going to want to add shop damage buff upgrade. And then we're also going to want to remove that. The shop damage upgrade will just increment the damage upgrade. Actually, we're not going to increment it like that. We're going to do this equals +1. And then we'll do the remove -1, and then this will be a min. And then the damage upgrade, so I was thinking, let's just put a 5 here, and then 0 here. So the maximum between this and that, 0. This and that, 5. So the max damage upgrades are 5. Okay. So instead, we'll put that there. So now that's set. I'm wondering now if I should make it a constant. Because once the game starts, these things aren't, this thing isn't changing. Constant. 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 Oh, it should be, oh, I found an error by doing this. There we go. So the count is 5. This is, there we go. That would have been annoying to figure out. Okay, so now basically I've set the amount of upgrades. The max is 0 and the lowest is, or sorry, the max is 5 and the lowest is 0. So wherever I'm calling this, I don't have to go and check and see if I'm already at the max before I call. I just call it, and if I'm at 0 upgrades, it won't upgrade anymore. So now I want to run the same thing on the power up. And I said 3 of those. Now I have most of the code ready. Now I need to go somewhere else in here and figure out. Yeah, I need to call this method in the places which I'm dealing damage. So that'll be the projectiles. They move, they hit the enemy. There's the on bullet hit. Enemy hit by bullet. So then we have our damage dealt. So then it's wherever this does damage.amount. So what I was thinking is I could make a getter on this. No, it wouldn't be on this. Do I already have... Am I already calling the player object here? No, I'm not. So I'm going to want to get the player, and I'm going to want to apply his buff. Which is okay, I could just do this. Okay, I could do private variable. You know what? Let's just make this a getter. Okay, so you get the player upgrade controller, and here we have a private reference to the player upgrade controller. Alright, so now open that up. Whenever I try to get the player upgrade controller, it will it'll check to see if this thing's null, or if it's not null, it will return the value. Easy peasy, most basic kind of cache. Else, it will try to get it. I'm wondering now if I could just put this in the global method. I mean, why have a little private reference here? No, I'll let it be here. Okay. So if it doesn't have it, then I'm going to do game object dot get find game object with tag. The tag here will be player. So now I have game object player. If player does not equal null, then I want to get the component player upgrade controller. There we go. And I could even go further and always return the private. And whenever it's null, actually I'll just leave that there. So it always checks to see if it's not null. If it's not null, it'll try to set it. And if it sets it, you get a non-null value, otherwise you'll get a null value. And then this needs to be a private variable. There we go. Now it's not being used. Go down here where damage is being dealt. So the damage amount. So I'm going to go to here, and I'm going to set the damage deal damage. Let's do float. It's the amount of float. It's not a float. Let's make it a float. And then we want to make the damage target to be a float. And the heal should be a float as well. And just put that as a float too then. I'll just break everything. Okay, so we got hit points, which is now going to be a float. And the max is going to be a float. Okay. Back here, we're now sending in a float. Alright. Now I could do damage to deal, which will be either if player upgrades controllers not null, then we're going to do player upgrades controller dot get damage amount. We're going to take the damage amount here, or we're just going to return damage amount. Alright, now for damage amount elsewhere, we're going to replace the value. There we go. The coding's done. Most of it. Now I'm just going to make a power up. So we're going to do here double damage. And for double damage, we're going to change the graphic to a D for double damage. D. That way I don't have to make any graphics. Then we're going to remove this thing called health script. So I made one for move speed, which I think would be a good one to base it off of. So we're going to add another script. Double damage item. Open that up. Okay. So in here, all I need to do is get a hold of the player's script, player's upgrade control. I don't need this. Alright, so we got the player upgrade control. Add temp speed. So if it's not null, add temp speed. And then increase the score, play a sound. So here I'm going to do add double damage buff. Okay, now we're going to jump back here. Going to put the double damage item script here. Okay, so the way we're going to test this, I'm going to go into one of the levels, and I'm going to kill one of those monsters. I'll actually make a different room. Yeah, I'll just do this one. Alright, we don't need these guys. We don't need 3 of them. We'll get this out of here as well. We don't need these decals happening every time the layer. You're pushing more GUI clips than you're popping. I don't know what that means. Alright, dropping the item now. So if I pick this up, I should be able to kill this purple dude in like 3 hits tops. So I'm going to try to see how many hits it takes. Null reference, not object, set to an instance of an object. Where? Here? I'm checking to see if it's null. Not null. If it doesn't equal null. Oh, if it does equal null, that's what we want to do. Alright. That was easy to fix bug there. Okay, I got a new one. Okay. It's like triggering damage just out of nowhere. It's weird. Oh. Interesting. I don't know what it's... Sometimes it's a whack-a-mole thing, so we'll see. Okay, so the damage filing cabinet. Oh. I fixed it. It was very simple. Things that don't deal damage were touching each other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh, that's a lot. Took 8 hits to kill that guy. I'm gonna do it one more time, but I'm gonna be more slow. 6, 7, 8. Yep. Now I'm gonna get double damage. It should take. Okay. Ah, I didn't set any of the sound stuff.
Two.
Double kill. Double kill. Double kill.
So stupid that I'm gonna keep it just for now. Alright. Double kill. Up. No. No, 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 no. We're not having it do the wrong sound effect. Alright, that's fixed. We're gonna remove that.
Double kill.
Boom! It works. Alright. I now do double damage.
Kill.
Turn off that breakpoint. Alright, so great, I do double damage, but what else should I have happen to my character now that he does double damage? Well, I don't know how long it lasts. Right now it lasts forever, but there's no indication that this is supposed to end. It'll just go on forever. Well, that's no good. You can't just have double damage forever.
Double kill.
Instant kill. One, two, three, four. Yeah. So the damage is not wearing off. So we're gonna go to the player upgrade controller. And in here we're going to define the timer for I'm thinking we'll just do timer, new timer. Let's just do 0. You have 5 seconds for double damage. Not too long, not too short. Okay, and as soon as you get your double damage buff, the timer starts. If it hasn't already started, it starts. If it has started, it should reset. Timer has 2 options. 1, reset, go back to 0, or 2, reset and start, or that sort of thing. So I actually can get away with doing timer dot damage. Just made this timer. Double damage timer dot start. Now, from what I understand, it's just saying start is being set to true. Perfect. But I also want to do reset and start. Reset sets the timer to 0.0. It just puts it back to 0. And start, we'll start it again. So reset and start does both. So now this basically will reset your remaining time on this buff to where it was before. Removing the double damage just removes it. And it should reset the timer. Now we're going to go into update. Double damage. Here I'm going to do interval. Okay. So now I should lose my double damage buff. I will test this by getting the double damage, waiting 5 seconds, and then trying to kill that monster. 1,
Double kill.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's going to be hard to prove. Too much stuff on the screen. I'm just going to kill everything. Alright. It should have worn off by now anyways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Double kill.
Oh, I have it. No, it's just going to go on forever because I have the timer set up, but I don't have anything happening when it completes. So we're going to go timer here. If it's finished, then we're going to do remove double damage buff.
Double kill.
Okay, this should take 8 shots. Oops, wrong weapon. Okay. So, an easier way to check that would have been as simple as every update in here doing debug.log and then it would show me in the bottom left corner down here if he was on or off. It's actually the easiest way to test.
Double kill.
Now it says true. Now it's false. False.
Double
True.
kill.
Double kill. It might be time to make a muzzle flash in the game. You're like an effect that, and it could have each weapon define its own muzzle flash, which would be a decal. I can make it as big as the player character sprite, so then I don't have to work with, I don't have to deal with anything funny. Like I don't have to figure out where to place it, it'll already be placed. Did I actually... I guess I did not have a an ace sprite thing of this. The idea is that it'd be like right here. I would make like a north facing decal, one here. Oh, it's because I'm in the sounds folder. Interesting. Okay. That looks goofy. It's too big. That just looks weird. Okay, this is going to take a lot more work than I can get done in 5 minutes. Well, I'll need a lot more downtime on this to really come up with that. But it's basically an explosion. a quick one. So this double damage doesn't really show off too much yet. Since the bad guys themselves usually have one hit, it would make more sense when you're dealing with kind of the more intermediate bad guys. Well, I do have the Sergeant Shrapnel character, but I haven't shrunk him down yet. So why not? He's pretty big. I don't remember how small I made the other guys. So let's just see. This went down to 32 by 32. And this is not 32 by 32. 32 by 32, and the height, yeah, so he's too big. And he's still too wide. Okay, so that's still a little too wide. Okay, and now he just kind of looks like a mess. So we're going to do something better. I was using the DB32 palette. So that's pretty limited. Seems like a limited palette. What I want this guy to do is not be so weird looking. He's weird, but he doesn't need to be super weird. He looks like some weird creature. Let's just do big blobs and then make it smaller later. Or looks like a silhouette of a babby. Okay, let's say he has some sort of explosion pack on his back. Kind of see a little bit through. And we'll have that be strapped onto him some manner. He's got something in his hand. Okay. You really can't put much detail in here, you know? So little to work with. Can't tell that this is even a different color. Alright, that looks weird enough. We'll start spawning some of those. Exclusively from the bottom spawner. He's a buff boy.
Double kill.
Alright, his arms are too far stretched and fat looking. He doesn't move. Okay, he does move at a... He does need a little bit of a movement increase. So we'll just double it. See how that looks.
Double kill.
Oh. When he dies, he should also explode. Have that exploding decal. Oh, it is destroying it, so I actually can just use my already existing script. I think I have something where it's like spawn when destroyed. So let's see. Forgot how I did this. Spawn when destroyed. Yeah, but how do I know when it's destroyed? Yeah, this is not going to be it. Okay, so then I need to do what I was doing in here. Swap decal. No, that's wrong as well. The what I have him do is the Sergeant Shrapnel guy, when the timer hits, he changes into this guy here. This guy, he has the exploding sergeant script. And so now I want to add something here to him that says or that does the explosion decal. It's going to look bad. So we're going to do Alright. And that's if it's that one.
Double kill.
Boom. Boom. Excuse me. That looks pretty good. Okay. Explosion decal. Okay, so we got our damage buffs. We've got explosion decals. A lot of quick and easy improvements. I already have a health buff that gives you extra health points. What I don't have is a health object, like the health bar object, that is not hard coded. So the problem is that each one of these health bars are an actual game object. So if you only had 3, it's going to show all of them. So what I need to do now is create... I don't need to do this now. I need to do it at some point. I need to write down that I need to do it. Okay. Could add a tank bad guy who's basically... This guy needs to work. Could add a tank guy. Whole extra wide thing here. Just kind of blocky. Okay. A tank. Alright, you're in the tank. Your legs are not in the tank. Or your legs are not showing outside the tank. Okay, and then it's getting windy outside. You know what? I probably should create a palette for this. Not create one, just pick one that's a little more versatile. I'm kind of just like limited, but I have no reason to be super limited on colors. This one's got a lot of weirdness to it. Don't know how wide it's supposed to be either. You know what? Just do something different. Okay, we'll add some colors here. So the tank, let's look at tank sprites in real life. So this is going to be kind of a cartoony tank. So it'll be something that's a tank, but it's painted. The angle I got to work with is going to be the same as the stage. How do they get tanks inside of the arena? Space floor template. Okay, so I've got, it's quite tall. Is that actually the one? It is. So the tank should be probably 3 cabinets height, as tall as this guy basically. I'm going to take his height. Stand up like that. Okay. Just the bottom of the tank. He's in the tank. Okay. That looks better actually. So the tank's going to be made up of some green colors. I'm going to do the darkest green on the tank will be kind of the green that'll go on the underside where the tires are. And the other greens are kind of grayish. So we're going to want to move the color this way and down. So that's the underbelly of the tank. This is where the tires would be. The treads. I'm just going to draw a nice circle thing there. Okay. And we might want to do a little bit of outlining over here, kind of give the idea of where it would be in the back, which will not show that much, if at all. Okay, so that's the dark side of the tank. Now we want the light side of the tank, which will be less of that. So we're going to add this color. That color's already added to the palette, so now we're going to add another color. We're going to start here. I'm thinking that all I have to do is go up to get the next level. Yeah. So this could be done as like an outline color. I am by far no expert at this. So we'll do that. Okay, so we want to change that. And we want to change. Why are we? Oh, I had jumped to the upper body layer. Okay, so then let's see how I'm going to extract that out. Okay, back in business. Okay. Starting to have some sort of depth. And the farthest away color, or the most bright color, is this one, which is more of a white. So if you go up to here, that's a pretty good color. So we're going to make so I have my foreground tank color. Weird. Okay. Foreground, background. So this would be just kind of a shimmer in the back. Now we're just copying this already existing color scheme. And I might have to undo this. Do something a little different. Once I figure out where my light source is. The tracks are going to have a color that's bright. So we want the dark. Keep looking at my reference. So we got our dark color. We got our bright color. We got our somewhat dark color. Dark color, I'd say. Yeah, dark color. So then I'm wondering, bright, dark. Okay, so we'll give it a go with this here real quick. Okay, we do a bright outline of the tracks. The tracks touch the ground too. So we're touching the ground here with the treads, or the tracks. Okay, now we have that. Then we have, say, these wheel outlines. Like that. One tire is actually a lot higher than the rest. And that's this one. I don't think I put enough space in here for it. And then this back one is also up. It's smaller than the rest too. Something like that. I think I can fake it being more round if I could find a way to put a in-between color here. Maybe a gray or something. It's too obvious, so it's not going to work. There's too many tires. We've got 5 here, and I've got like a million. You know? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6. I guess I could just do this. Shrink it by 1. Okay, so you got all this done. You got some darkness here. You need darkness above the treads. And then there's a little bit of darkness here. And then there's the front of the tank kind of covering like that. And then the back, you can't really see much of that. Okay, so now we have the nice edge here. Don't know if I have any need for a bright line or anything. There has to be more I can do. Some stuff here. I might need another color. Yeah, there's too much of a gap from here to here. So I'll need one more color, which would be the halfway point between there and there. There we go. What? I must not know what I'm doing. I got this color, I got this color, and I got that color. Just delete your colors. As soon as you add them, delete them. Okay. Alright, we'll bring this one up here. I got that color, that color, that color. It's a duplicate. Delete your colors as soon as you get them. Dark, darker. So we need to swap these two. Alright, and then if I do this, that's in the palette, that's in the palette, that's in the palette. So this is my new color. And I decided I needed one more color because the dark was just too dark for what I was trying to do. So now it doesn't, I don't think that adds much, but we'll see. What was I trying to do with this color? They had the ability to make kind of things pop in and out. And actually, there's a lot here that I could add that would make it look better. For example, there's this crate thing, and it's deeper than this. You could also add an embellishment here. So that would be of the form of this. And then the depth of additional things like that can be shown doing something like that, I think. Looks kind of funky. How much of an angle am I at? Right, I'm not on a lot of angle right now. You're actually looking straight on at this edge. Now this stuff here could be further in the front. It can be darker. Up here darker. Doesn't look like anything at this point. All right, let's see. Yeah, that's kind of hard to do because I don't have much angle right now on this tank. I've created some angle, like the perspective looks like this, where the front is kind of like that, and then I'm looking at part of the tank. But if I were to try to draw a car like that, where you have the front kind of like this, and then your tires are actually going to be facing down and to the right, which means that this whole thing here is a little off. It needs to have an angle. How would I do that? If I want to impose that angle, I would just turn it a little bit. Turning a little bit means that my light would capture on the right, so it would be brighter on the right. So these dark ones here would be like this. Brighter on the right. And then this could even be just a little bit darker here. It's a neat effect. Okay, so I'm developing a little bit of an angle here that wasn't there before. I'm going to kind of clean this up again. Okay, so I think what I need to do is kind of draw what a bevel up would be and a bevel down would be in this environment. So what I'll do is I'll draw a circle like that, and then I'll have one that's kind of... So one of these circles is kind of going to show you the popping up. The other one's going to show the popping down. So if we had light kind of, say we're just doing like equal across every area. Let's see, we'll do 2 there. So then the opposite would be okay, so that's this one on the right. This is the sun's coming and it's hitting the part in the front. So what's in front is this lighter color. And actually, let's do the outside. I'm going to make an outline on this. Learned how to do this the other day. It's pretty cool. Outline. And I want the whole thing outlined, but I want it on the outside. Bam. Same thing goes over here, except I'm going to do... I'm going to change the colors. Okay, and then we'll do an outline. On the outside, there we go. Okay. So this is now, we've got one thing where it's kind of going in like this. Get some light here. And then we got another one where it's like this. And so the tip of this is going to be the brightest when the light's like that. And the edges are going to be darker. And here, if it's the other way around, the tips here are going to be the brightest and the back the darkest. Now, you get the same thing going on, but the light's in same Huh, that's weird. My headset decided to turn off. Okay, so here I'm going to try to shift this, and the way I see you shifting this is if the light source moved a little, and it went like this, then this would have more bright colors on the right, dark on the left. But what we're doing in this one is we have the light from kind of over here. We have the tank, it's angled a little bit, and I'm saying the light's coming from the right. So that means I want to move the center of this to the right, and then have my colors move as well. So I'm kind of skewing this. don't know how I do that easily. Probably the word I just used. So the gradient has a direction it's coming from. I'm not gonna use any special tools to do this. I'm just gonna do it by hand. Okay, so that means that this darkness needs to shift to the right. Like that. And that would mean that we'd have more light on the left. I said that the light's coming from the right. So there's going to be more light hitting the left side over here. It's this color. And then we're going to have a little more of that. Actually, I think I did this wrong. I'm rotating. What I had just done was a rotation. Yeah. I mean, this would be a rotation. Okay. The angle's very minor to the right. The sun's coming from over here somewhere. So I actually had done this a little wrong. That means that the light would hit over here. Ugh. Too much. Too much for now. It's like cylinders like this. Yeah, these would be dark. They're not getting additional light because of the angle. They're getting less light because of the angle. So then it's the tips of these that are going to be darker, which means that this color here might be my foreground color, and then here might be my around the edges color for this. See what that does. That does something. uh, it almost makes me think I gotta put that brightness around everything, but oh, cool. Tank. Okay. We got our tank. It actually looks decent for a start. It's not done. Um, what sort of minimal bits of detail can I add to the tank that'll make it more like a tank and less like a dude just sticking on the top? You know, there's something really obvious that needs to get added. Kind of looks like this. So I don't want to have to redraw everything. So I'm going to add the turret now. Once you got the turret, I think you got most of it ready. I'm going to draw it in red. Black hole around the guy, yes. Yes, that could be a good start. Alright, and then some sort of... Maybe he doesn't need to be in the center of the tank. Maybe he could be near... Let's see what we got here. They came out the turret, actually, so he's going to have to be a little bit higher, right here. And then the turret has to be drawn around him. I'm thinking... something that big could be the turret. So then the turret needs to come... This is the base of the turret. The turret has to basically color itself in gradually. Until it covers a decent amount. We're going to have to remove more of your upper body here, Tank Man. We're actually just going to remove all of him for now. Make him invisible. There we go. supposed to be dark back here. Very dark. I have this so dark already that it doesn't matter. You want to know what I've drawn? I know what I've drawn. I've drawn this part of the tank all the way across. That's what I've done. I'm breaking it up even smaller. Okay, so I've got this gun layer. And I like what I've done in the gun layer to the point where I'm just going to copy the gun layer over the turret layer. And I'm going to delete this gun layer. Okay. And then I'm going to take this and I'm just going to green this out. This is that slice across. Okay, so this needs to get saved to a sprite file. So I made that top slice. That's a tank. Top slice across. Perfect. That's what I need to do. I need to make this part here, which is the slice across, but it's like a little bit of the front. And I got to make a kind of a. This is where I can use shading to my advantage. So this is in front of this. So this needs to be in front of that. What I'm trying to do, maybe I get like a better side angle of a tank. The one we were looking at was fine. That one. Okay. Putting this over here so I can see it. So then this will be flat and pointy. Oh. I still have the turret layer. Okay, so we'll go in here, mark equal, copy the turret, paste over. It's not what I want. I want to take this and paste it here. And I want to delete that. There we go. Okay. To finish this, I need to have this part here be brighter. This is like flat down. And now I need to recreate kind of this angle. So I might take these pixels here. And just start this idea So there we go. That's perfect. Just erase some of the tank. I got the right shape. Like this is the correct shape for the back part. It's curved and everything, but I need to make this part here not curved properly. So I need it to look basically flat. Okay, so that looks flatter. And now I need to make that, and then okay, so that's kind of the curve on the other side. And then we'll do a little bit more of it. Take this and regain one of those. We'll get rid of that. No, we'll keep that. So now I can see the tracks behind. And we're not going to see as much dark back here. We'll keep it light. It's reflecting light. So this here is reflecting light. Bringing in the tank. So this curve, okay, let's get. So you get this front part, it's curved. I got the curve here. And then there's stuff that's being blocked, so the front of the tank. Do I really need to use such a dark color there? Yeah, because it's the opposite side. Okay. Go straight until it hits here, and then it has a very distinct color change, which is dark and bright. There, we can just go like that. You know, this may be taking forever. That's what it feels like for me. But I feel like I've just gotten better at shading because of this. Okay. I have one pixel to delete. That one. There we go. That's this slice of the tank. I have finished this entire slice of the tank. There is something that lives on top of this layer here, which means I'm done with this layer. And I can lock it, make a new layer, and call it upper tank body. So then I don't have to redo any of that. Okay, so now I just want to do the top part. Top part of the tank. Significant features. Well, it's rising. It's rising from where we left off here. You see this angle here? Let's do something bigger. Brushes. Yes, and we'll do yellow. Okay. This is an angle like that. That angle exists. So in here, I need to have this angle persist to about here. 1, 2. So we're going to take this color, we're going to go up to, and then we're going to go across. And then I'm just going to finish it there. So what did I add? I went up 2 more. Here, yep. That goes up. So now we have gone up an additional distance. We're kind of we're now mocking out this area, which will be covered by some decals in front here. Some of it will be. Then there'll be a tank top here that'll cover a lot of this space. There'll be decals. Put this weird thing in here. Don't know what half of this stuff is. Tolling tools. That was a lot of work. I made a tank. Half of it. Just the tracks. I'm not a sprite artist. That's for sure. I'm learning. And that took quite a bit of time because I didn't really know how to do this. And I struggled and I learned half of a tank. That's pretty good for now. Been going at it for a bit. I think it's a good time to stop. All right. So back to me. Today I worked on live development and explosions. And a tank. So that's it, right? Today we worked on fixing some things. We added double damage power up. We've added double damage. We did something else. I just don't really remember what it was. I did. Oh yeah. I made the exploding Sergeant Shrapnel guys, and now they explode. Shoot, they're buff boys. Buff boys. The buff boys. All right. So I made the buff boys. They blew up. Then after that, we switched over to doing a little bit of art because I thought, oh yeah, I have my to-do list and it says tank, and well, somehow that got to the top of the list. So we had the start of a tank. You know, I could, in theory, just take this tank here and put this dummy on top for now, you know? Just put him on top for all intents and purposes. And now I have... This tool is such an intuitive tool. You cannot believe. I've not had to think using this tool so often. It does exactly what I thought it should have done. For example, this canvas, I can move the It works now, right? Yeah. Something weird. Okay, so I can see now that the audio is working. Uh, uh, so what I was saying is, it's cool that you can move the canvas. Like you can adjust it, and then I could be like, oh, this isn't in center, and I can move it to the center of the screen. I can move this canvas around. I'm impressed that they've done such a good job with this tool. I bought this tool whenever I decided I was going to do some game development for hobby stuff, before I decided I was going to really go into it and make a full game. So now I'm at the point where I'm making a full game, and I'm so happy I had bought this tool. And I was like pointing out how good of a tool this is. This is ASE Sprite, Ace Sprite. I think I'll leave it like that. Canvas is, we'll do 50 by 30. So what I was going to do really quickly, just for fun, was to put this in the game as something really stupid, but quick, to see how fast we can get it in there. And then once that's in there, I'm done for the day. So we'll take the bruiser, boom. Actually, the bruiser is not who I want. I don't want that. I'll duplicate this default enemy, call him a tank. We'll change his health to 10. Tanks have a lot of hit points. That's the idea. Go in here, look for my tank. There it is. So you may have seen me do this a million times. What I'm doing is I'm setting up some default settings so that the pixel art stays pixelated. If I didn't do this stuff, it would not be pixelated. Okay, so now I have my tank. We're going to find the tank asset. There it is. Now we have a tank. Big old tank. We're going to add him to the first level here. All the bad guys live on the first level. That looks pretty cool. Okay, and now I have the ability to turn off diagonal movement. Well, this tank's only going to go left, right, up, down, no diagonals. So let's do that. Enemy movement, move diagonally off. Actually, let's apply that override to it, period. And then on death decal, right? So we already have a death decal, blunt death decal. We're going to change this to the exploding decal because, it deserves an explosion. Now, should be able to just shoot it a bunch and it explodes. So it's not going to go diagonal.
Double kill.
Boom. Okay, so now to make this even better, let's pick a spot and spawn like one every 10 seconds, or 5 seconds will be good. So I'm going to do a different level here. We're going to do level 2. I think I toned down the spawners in this room. Yes, I did. I've got basically one bad guy coming from the right. So I'm going to have a bad guy come from the left. He's going to spawn every 5 seconds. We'll do 20 total. The tank. There we go. We're going to spawn a tank every, let's do 5 seconds. 5 seconds is fine. Every 5 seconds, a tank's going to come from the left side. It's going to move relative X. Let's move it to the right. How about 1.5? All right. That'll give us more time to play with killing the tank. Something else I've noticed is that he wasn't flashing when I hit him, and it's because I haven't set the right shader on this guy. I have a flash material. I guess that's it. So whenever I hit it, it should flash, and that should have enabled it. Funny thing about a tank is it should be a lot faster too. Oh, we got 5 seconds till it shows up. They got a lot of health. Alright, so what I had done earlier is I did change the decal, but it was on an instance and not the prefab. Adding the on hit flash. We're going to make it white. Okay, so here should be white. It's white. Sprite renderer should be the one in the scene, which is the tank sprite renderer. So now it should flash. Then here add the explode. It should do it now. Big boom. This is so dumb. I mean, I'm not complaining. That this is pretty cool. It's just, it's silly, you know? What are these guys even doing, Hal? It needs a big boom. Okay. I think it needs something that's twice as wide to make it a big boom. Okay. That wasn't what was supposed to happen. We were supposed to end the show. But instead we made a tank. And it worked. So that's fun, right? Alright, well, you know what? I'll give a little bit of time for the ending of the show, credit stuff, like questions. But we just added a tank. And its hitbox is pretty big. His world hitbox is not the right size, so let's fix that. The hitbox here is going to be the tank and not the guy in the tank. So we're going to just fix that up. World hitbox? Yes, that one. we're going to do here, and then I'm going to add another one. Another collider, and it'll just be the getting a little bit more of the tank. A little bit of the top out there. So it feels like you're hitting it. That's good enough. Maybe that. A little bit like that. It's good enough. So then the needle gun would detect here to here, and then it would start turning. The attack for the tank needs to hit you from here to here. And then the tank itself has a hitbox for something. I don't know what. Like what do we got a big hitbox for? Oh. What am I doing? So one is how do I hit the world? So I don't need two of these. I only need one of these. This is going to be how we know if the tank's too close to a wall. And I'm going to say that this is, I don't want it touching the wall, basically. So that's a good enough hitbox for me. Then there's the needle detection, which is good. But then you need the actual hitbox for hurting you, which you don't want it to get any cheap shots. So you make it actually a little bit smaller than the actual sprite. Here we got too much diagonal overlap, so I'm going to put one here and add one more. Oh, you can't. Bing. All right, we're back. So now we're going to add. So basically, I was adding the hitboxes. So this one's where the damage can be dealt from. And then here will be how you can damage the enemy, which was this and that. I'm going to make it kind of bigger. I don't want it to go be too big though. One more hitbox. Okay. It's a little finicky. There we go. All right. Well, I'm not seeing any questions, so I will end soon. After I mess around with this tank, we'll wrap up the show. Remember to follow me on Twitch, and also follow me on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. There's also a Discord link that you can find on the YouTube channel, and then if you type in the command Discord in the chat, it will show it as well. Whoa. Okay. Kind of moving now because I've got a kind of a collider that's related to their rigid body that's on the outside of their hitbox. So I need to figure out how to fix that, but it's not horrible. Just blocking some. It's a cool effect, but it's not right for this guy. Yeah, these tanks. Yep, that's right, hatchling. So that these tanks will shoot at you. And the guy in the top, he should be aiming a turret. Yeah, so what I had done is I made this hitbox a little too big. So I'll just shrink it so it's smaller than the other ones. Oh, okay, so what you're asking is,
Double kill.
will I reskin the existing sprites once I've finished creating all the sprites? I think that would be a good idea. So for example, the tank in some ways looks better than these bad guys here. It has a bit more detail to it, and it's not even done, but it's already looking better than some of the bad guys I have here. So yes, I will. Like as I get farther and farther, I'm probably gonna get better at drawing sprites. And as I get better, okay, yeah. So it's there's a rigid body in there that's just too big that it's hitting. So we got kinematic, we got the world collider, which is fine. We have that one and we have this one. So which one is too big? It's this one. But it's not. Why is it moving? It shouldn't be moving. None of the other things. Oh, it's because they die instantly. That's why they're not moving. I'll have to research it. Yeah, so I'm going to reskin just about everything. My skill is going to increase with drawing every single sprite that by the time we hit the end, I'll be able to redo everything.
Double
Even this
kill.
guy right here, he kind of looks silly. I don't even know what that is. This guy down here, funnily enough, this guy down here looks a bit better than he did before, and I'm not even done with him. I just spent a little bit of time on him. The exploding guy. Which also, I should probably make him blow up when you kill... Did I crash? It's supposed to... Okay, so the variable spawned when destroyed has not been assigned. Okay, so I do have... Spawn when destroyed. Oh. So enemy hit by bullet. Get spawn when destroyed. What did I make that doesn't have that? The shrapnel guy is missing his one of his pieces, I guess. Spawn when destroyed. Ah, yeah, I added that, but I didn't put anything on it. Okay, so we'll do a decal. So what that was is earlier I added something that would make those Sergeant Shrapnel dudes explode when they run out. So we'll see that live in a second. Let's get that.
Double kill.
So when they die, they explode. And I think I had a room where they were just spawning without other stuff. That'd be I'm gonna make the tank room spawn that guy from the bottom. Alright, good. So that'll spawn him. So I actually could talk about him more easily. You know what? He's not even going to come out the bottom because I didn't give him a relative move. There we go. Yeah, I actually do like that power-up. So that power-up's from Smash TV, which you probably already knew that. And so it's this floating orb. So So Hatchling has asked that, are you going to make a power-up that orbits you and shoots the same ammo you're currently shooting? And the answer is yes. I really like that power-up from Smash TV. It's not overpowered at all. If you do not get hit, it will stay with you as long as possible. I think it despawns at boss fights. Okay, watch this. This guy is going to blow up decal. Boom, boom. Something weird happened there. I don't know if anyone else saw it, but it looked like he had spawned another one of himself. So I'm gonna... Oh, I don't know if you were here earlier, Hatchling, but watch this. Yeah, that was a mistake, that one spawned. Watch this. Boom. Do that again real quick. Okay, so I saw that too. It looked like it was spawning another one of these guys when he died. And they just disappeared. So I gotta just fix another bug. I mean, I know how to fix it. It takes a little bit and they start exploding. Oh, they're not spawning. They're not spawning at all. So you may have noticed that when I shoot some of them that they disappear. They disappear because I don't have the correct shader on them because I changed the shader, or I made a new shader for the flashing so I could actually flash the enemies white instead of red. I just haven't applied it to all these guys. So this guy is missing the flash shader, which I'm applying. I'm also going to apply it to the exploding guy, which also brings to mind something that I was thinking about, is the exploding guy, when he's exploding, he should have health, and he does, but does the health get passed? Am I swapping? In here, is it getting swap to entity, right? Is it... Yes, that's what I was thinking. Do I have a damage counter? I do have a damage counter, but what I wasn't doing was passing one guy's health to another guy, right? So here, when this occurs, I want to pass the old guy's health to the new one, because right now, when he blows up, or when he gets ready to blow up, he's switching to a new guy, but he has full health. He just got all the way back up to 5. That's not what I want to have happen. So if I can do this right, which will be easy, let's do hit point controller. Okay, so I need to get the spawned objects one. And the only way this works is that they both have it. So if hit point controller does not equal null and does not equal null, then I take the old hit points and give it to the new one. So there's a spawned object, hit point controller. It's hit points need to equal the old ones. Then it gets rid of the old things. So now it's going to transfer the health from one to the other. So we can test that out here. He has 5 health. I'm going to shoot one of them 5 times. And then when he starts shaking, I should be able to shoot him once and he dies. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would kill him. 1, So 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the 5th one he would die. So I'm waiting for him to start shaking. He is shaking. Oh, he had full health. That's no good. Okay, so we have to figure out what that is. We need to figure out what that is in an environment that's not a pain to deal with. It's not filled with bad guys. Would be nice. So here I'm actually going to stop spawning things. Right spawner, top spawner, get rid of all of that. And I'm going to place one of him in here. I'll actually do 2. And then here he has his flash is white. It's not, or is red. I want to make it white. So now it's white. When you say, yeah, I think I answered your question already. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. That kills it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So now it's worth kind of putting in a breakpoint, figuring out what's going on. Yeah, I could have it to where they have 1 HP, but then, like, you're getting it for free. You don't have to work for it. So I'm going to put a breakpoint in there and see what's going on. I have... Yeah, but then you just wait for him to almost explode to shoot him. Let me kill this one. Okay, so now I'm here. So they exist. You know what? This is what's the problem. It's going to set its hit points to 1, but I bet you it's going to go into here. Yeah, so then it sets it to the max. So instead of setting its hit points, I'm going to set its max hit points. His points max. And we'll do that again, and it should work. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. Cool. Okay. And let's see, is he shaking yet? Soon. Now he is. Boom! It worked. Alright. That's good. Gonna add a spawn when destroyed to have his death decal. Wait, no, that's not how we do that. That is one way to do it, but there's... When this guy dies, there's actually a place that we had for this. Yeah, blunt death. Explode. There we go. Get rid of that there, and then go to this one. And all right. I am sticking around too long. It's okay. Boom, he blew up. Now this guy here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Starts shaking, I'll shoot him, he should blow up. Boom. Perfect. Okay. That's it for now. I do gotta go. So I added the tank, updated the big boy. So now I think it is time for us to talk about what's going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow, let me look at my calendar and make sure that tomorrow it may be open for most of the day. So I probably will do a much longer stream where I just do development. So that will be Wednesday. I'm thinking also to do some sort of design presentation. Like I could do live designing of like another bad guy. The tank needs to shoot things. I mean, that could be getting done tomorrow. But yeah, I'm thinking tomorrow I'll probably start earlier in the day and just do a live stream of development. Alright, so remember to follow the Twitch channel so you can see the next time I'm streaming, and also remember to give me a subscribe on YouTube. Scare Games signing off, and I'll see you tomorrow. Our scheduled time will be 3 p.m., but I will be streaming before then tomorrow. Alright, see ya.